Diarrhea. Kind of a beautiful word.
My love, you give me diarrhea.
Mi amor. Mi culo es el fuego.
¿Cómo se dice? Anus on pie.
Como se dice is always followed by some foul shit.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Nobody ever says como se dice in good faith.
No. You just want to do some violent.
Yeah, you're about to do some bad shit.
Hey, how do you say fuck all y'all?
Yeah. Como se dice, the place where I came to get pills. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we are living single. In a 90s kind of world, I'm glad I got my girl. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another phenomenal episode of My Mama Told Me.
The podcast where we dive deep into the pockets of Black conspiracy theories.
And we finally work to prove that Tyler Perry's wigs are the reason that we are losing the coral reefs. He is extracting resources from this planet and combing them together to make awful coral-looking wigs that are literally bleaching our sweet bottom dweller units below. I'm Langston Kerman.
I'm David Gborie. I didn't fully. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't buy it for
Shit
1
seems
second.
toxic.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about the reefs.
I'm
It's
saying
what I worry.
I'm saying that what he's putting on human heads doesn't look at all to be of this part of the planet.
Like it shouldn't be put on human heads.
It's not even meant to pretend to be human hair at this point.
See, it does seem like a crazy place to not. That's where you're cutting the corners?
It's wild. And maybe this is how you become a billionaire, right? Is you have to understand.
It's not what you make, it's what you save.
Yeah. Maybe we're looking at it like hair glue. How much could that cost? And he's like, I'm paying for hair glue?
Come on.
What are you talking about?
$50K a month?
Lick that down. Slap it.
We got a movie to make.
Do it in one shot. And you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Coral reefs is where I'm
Coral
drawing.
reefs. Protect our.
What do you want us to protect?
I got to be honest, man. I did too much edible last night and it's bled over into today.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. My man is weird high.
Exactly that. Exactly that. I was trying to hold it together during the last one.
Yeah.
You'd be making these great points, and I'm just looking over remembering we're wearing these shirts. Like, it's like you could only be so smart with, like, the face of another dude in the room on your shirt.
Right.
It's like it tops out.
Man. What if we start to get more, not that our guests haven't been legitimate, but actual, like, thinkers on this podcast? Do you know what I mean? Like if we get a Ta-Nehisi Coates, if we start to get the,
is that the I hadn't.
I don't know that that's the plan.
Oh God, thank God! I was like, you got the wrong.
It certainly isn't what I aimed for, but there could be a world where we find ourselves successful enough that they start going, "Hey, I'd like to come be silly with you," but they don't know that what silly is, and we're wearing these shirts. And then they have to decide what kind of person they're going to be.
Oh, I like that. Really force their hand.
Yeah.
It's like a power move, essentially.
I think so. I think if
they
you
come in and we just are like this, no explanation.
Yeah. Now you said in your book that things are complicated in Israel. Okay. I'm not convinced. Tell me more.
It would be a good play. That would be
I think that'd be huge. He sits across from us and he starts, you know what I mean? Because he can't help it.
Because what do you think about this? You have to make a lot of game time decisions.
Yeah.
If you sit across two men dressed like this.
And because
like, how am I going to play this?
This is going to be beautiful because he would only come if he asked.
Yeah.
Which means that you wanted to be here.
You're going to presume, you start a foot back because you presume this is like a thing you don't know about that we're united on.
Yeah, and probably your team told you this is a cool thing and it lives in this kind of space. And you're like, yeah, I could have that'd be exciting to have a conspiracy theory conversation with black men and unpack that in terms of its bigger effects on our planet, on our experience. He probably would think this is hopeful and inspiring.
Right.
And then he comes and he sits down across from two idiots wearing matching shirts of each other's faces.
Like we're in a tween relationship.
He's just sitting there like, God, if they have matching backpacks, I'm gonna call my agent and fire them. I'm gonna fire them on this podcast.
Yeah, no, it's so maybe we keep the shirts for that because I'm already doing the math. I'm like, oh no, I can't go to the airport looking like this.
Dude, I think from now on, anytime we have on these shirts, it's got to be a power play.
Yeah, that's good.
It's just us being like, I don't know how this episode's going to go, so you getting big dogged real quick.
Yeah, right out the gate. Boo, boo, boo. Because they won't think to have listened back even this far.
No.
That's the good thing about getting a big famous guest. They'll do minimal research.
They got no idea what this is, but they know that they sat down against two people they've never heard of wearing matching shirts.
Yeah, damn. Thank you for extending the shelf life of this shirt.
I think these shirts are a permanent fixture in our lives.
We're going to be like that guy with the vest.
Let's go, D-Ray. Yeah.
D-Ray. That guy.
Yep. We have a conspiracy that you and I talked about today. We were brainstorming earlier a little bit, and we landed on a conspiracy I think we're both very excited about, but we said, my mama told me
we are eating fake food.
Whoa. Kick it off. What are you thinking?
I mean, I've always heard rumors about things, right? Like I remember years ago hearing that like the McDonald's patty for the double cheeseburgers is more plant than it is meat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you hear these things and sometimes, I mean, especially like bad food, you're like, the process by which we came to this, it's been whatever real food has been filtered out.
Yeah.
To where this is just like an abomination. You know what I'm saying?
Like a fish stick.
Yeah, or like, bacon flavored anything that's not bacon.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where it's we've gone real far.
Right. So you're saying you do believe we're consuming a fair amount of things that you would not qualify as quote unquote real.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I think I feel similarly. I think it's more often than we think. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think even when we kind of think something is sort of rooted in a reality, it's actually more of that abomination that you're speaking of.
I mean, that's the worry, right? That I'm going to be like, I think it's a little problem and come to find out. But I mean, I think it's like, there's whole foods and then there's processed foods, right?
Yeah.
I think that the processed foods are like highly processed. And this isn't like rocket science, you know what I mean? It's just, that's like pretty standard thing.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff they do to foods, you're like, you can't do that. Like when they had those diet chips and then everybody got diarrhea. You remember that?
I don't remember that.
those like soy chips. They were like no calories,
Whoa.
but then they gave people terrible diarrhea.
So it was just
in like the early 2000s.
Holy shit!
You know, they were called like Wow or some shit like that.
Oh, I didn't know Wow gave people diarrhea.
Yeah, it's not good.
Wow, that sucks. Fuck.
Wow.
Olestra is the oil that made people shit.
I hope that they can see you, because that is...
No, they're all pointing this way. We're hearing from Olivia, who poked her head in cartoonishly, I would say.
Oh, very Sesame Street.
Yeah, who poked her head in that Olestra is the name of the oil that was giving people diarrhea from the Wow chips. Yeah. I think, yes, so much. There is a massive difference between whole foods and processed foods. But then I think even the level of processing that some foods make feels impossible for it to have maintained any version of its original self, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's been like filtered down so many times.
Like powdered eggs is such an absurd concept of dehydrating eggs and then rehydrating them in their original form, right? That like, well, that's not what that is anymore. That's not real egg. It's like the essence of egg.
But we're so played that like, that's like when you can buy a product at the grocery store and it's like with all natural flavors or uses real eggs or whatever.
Yeah.
Where it's like we're so used to thinking that this whole thing is chemicals that they're like, oh, sometimes we put some real shit in there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't want to freak you out. We got apples in this applesauce.
Yeah, they're like,
and it's like, I'm just a good guy like that.
Look, man, these gushers are made with real fruit juice, and that didn't have to be.
Could have just hit you with the vat of chemicals, but I said essence of blackberry.
A little bit juice in there for the kids. I put a little bit juice. Because you know they're not like filling it to the brim.
No, it's not. Juice. It's not. Yeah,
they just hit you with one of these. Little tap. They give you that. What's the Salt Bay?
They Salt Bay
your fruit juice.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, but we're just so used to it, like, you know, that it's like permeated. But I think for sure we're all.
Yeah,
it's not going good with that stuff.
No, I agree. I think we are constantly sort of being presented meals that are far more manufactured than they are like of the earth. And then I think the question becomes maybe the standardization of what we consider real and fake.
Right.
Because to some extent, things that we consume that are chemical are still food in that our body can digest it. It just isn't natural. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah, but I think that's what we're talking about is like our food is not real, meaning it's not derived of something organic, right?
Well, I guess that's maybe the bigger question. Do you think that that's a problem?
Man, I truly don't know the science behind it.
Yeah.
My instincts would say yes, but I don't know, man, because it's the idea of like, seems like science can make like a wonder cocktail to drink or whatever that gives you everything you need. So then it's like, is artificial food a bad thing? I don't think always, but I think a lot of times, like with most shit like this, it's probably used to cheapen the process. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think that like you can make a good artificial food. I think the ones that are getting made are not being made with that in mind.
Yeah, it's cutting your product. It's
it's not like they're not using it to make Fruity Pebbles good for you.
Yeah, they didn't.
Which, if someone out there has the technology, please
give my man some healthy Fruity Pebbles. They're like, David, have you slimmed down? Like, well, I've been eating my Fruity Pebbles.
It's like 2 p.m.
Yeah, no, I do think that there is this missing component of how much of it is just intention, right?
Right.
That like, oh, if I intended to add this artificial whatever with the goal of like protecting you or keeping you healthy or removing a worse element that already exists in the natural food. That's what the processing is for. But on the flip side, it's like, no, more often than not, it's just making something stretch and or addictive.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a good process.
No, because truly apples are juicy. If I want some juice, I can just eat an apple. You know what I mean? I can eat an orange.
They got everything's got all the stuff in it.
Yeah, and they were like, nah, but if we put like 500 grams of sugar in this.
Yeah, it's like a super apple.
You don't want that apple a bunch of times a day.
And to their credit, it is. I'm not saying that shit is not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They go crazy with the additives sometimes.
Yeah, apple juice is objectively better than an apple.
Apple juice is divine. Apple juice tastes like it doesn't come from here.
Yeah.
Like when you get it really good and cold, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, it didn't come from here.
No.
And
they had to make that up.
They had to make that the fuck up.
Yeah.
That ain't a Granny Smith. That ain't a Red Delicious. That is manufactured.
Yeah. Which is pretty sinister.
It's the most horrifying thing.
Like they're coming after everything. If they won't, yeah.
This is something I learned not too long ago, is that banana flavor, which is maybe, I would argue, is maybe the most polarizing flavor of all the flavors. Is that fair to say?
In fruit?
In like fruit flavored things.
Yes. Yeah, I think bananas.
Banana's the one where if you like it, you are rare. And if you don't like it, you are vocal all the time.
Right.
Yeah. That said, the banana flavor, the reason that people often don't like banana candies and don't like banana flavors and other stuff is because the banana flavor we eat in candies is actually based on a flavor of a banana that no longer exists. It's like a genetic breed of banana that was like, or maybe it exists.
That is dark.
But it isn't the one that we now understand to be like the main banana.
Bro,
yeah.
Laffin Taffies is an ancient flavor that no longer exists.
Dog, it's like an old breed of banana that like in 1942, they drew up the original flavor palette and then they were like, well, that's the one. And now we're just recycling an old fucking formula.
That's crazy because then that makes me think about, I never thought about the idea of produce or anything changing throughout time.
Yeah.
So it's like food tastes completely different and like, I that truly never crossed my mind. I feel like an idiot.
I mean, well, that's what GMOs are, right?
Right.
Is that we continue to do these genetic modifications over centuries, a century more or less. And in doing so, we are changing the products, and then those products become dominant, right? That like, there's a reason that Granny Smith is the go-to apple. You know what I mean? Or the base apples are the ones that are being promoted because those are the ones that we grow easiest or can modify the quickest or whatever it is. Right. So when you go like, oh, what does an apple taste like? It's this.
Right.
Because we just taste that all the time.
Right.
But motherfuckers in 19 whatever the fuck had tasted bananas very differently than us.
That's so interesting. But I mean, it's also fucked because I think some stuff it made healthier than it was before. Meat was really dangerous.
Yeah.
For a long time.
So much so that the Bible really concentrated time on it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, hey, bro, do not eat shrimp.
This shit will fuck you up. So, like, the amounts of meat that we have now, do not eat shrimp.
Can you imagine the diarrhea that author had before he wrote down, God does not want you to eat shrimp? It
took him out.
He was like, the Lord told me. No shrimp.
I almost lost my family. Okay. The diarrhea.
It is a
no
wonder.
God I serve would condone.
It is an absolute wonder that I'm here with you today. And the only reason that is because God needed me to tell you, leave that shrimp alone.
Put it down.
Please.
Oh, man.
He was fucked.
I bet you diarrhea used to be so bad
It was the worst.
Like it sucks now, and
Yeah.
we have rocket ships. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
It sucks now, and I can look up how to fix it on my phone.
yeah.
And
It's
motherfuckers.
still like, nah, it kind of sucks.
Bro, imagine, because
Medieval, oh, fuck.
it's also, you have to imagine how many people had it and didn't know what it was.
They just thought that's how they moved through the world.
That like once every 6 weeks, your body explodes.
Oh.
It just erupts and you have to throw away everything you own because what else could this be?
Yeah.
And then you start fresh.
Oof.
Yeah, it's rough out here, man.
Yeah, it was bad going back then.
Here's we should take a break. I don't know that I've seen any indication of it, but I have
Feels
a
like the
feeling
time.
we've earned it. We're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna come back with more David, more Langston, more My Mama Told Me.
We are back discussing foods. Is that real?
Whoa, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, no, I like that. That was cool.
We got to come in with segments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really locked it off there.
Yeah.
I saw something pretty recently that disturbed me in relating to this conversation, and I have no proof that this is a real thing that I saw, or if it is just a bad Instagram, TikTok, whatever type video. But I saw a video claiming that the cashews that we eat are not real cashews, and it showed essentially like sheets, like these sheets of dough in a factory where people were essentially cutting out cashew-shaped pieces of dough and then baking them and then sort of like serving them up as real nuts when in fact they are just bread.
That's nuts. I knew I shouldn't have done it. I know I knew I shouldn't have done it. I was like, if you could know what was in my head, I was like, just don't do it. It's going so good, just don't do it.
What the fuck do you want from me, man?
Ah, man, I know it was a tough place to put you.
Well, what do you want me to do?
I'm telling you that I also did not want that to happen.
Fuck, man. Fuck. We'll have a big meeting after this.
Yeah.
But no, they're claiming that these cashews are not real. And even more fascinating, I saw another video relating to cashews, which was very informative for me. But I found out cashews are not real nuts in general. We're told they are is that they're a nut. They're actually the seed of a fruit called the cashew apple.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like these cashew
that makes
apples.
sense with like the pattern. It looks like a seed pod kind of
Yeah.
on the inside.
And so they basically like have to pluck them from the inside of these cashew apples in order to like mine them and make them, into what we present as these big sort of collections of seeds or of nuts rather. And part of the reason that gets so complicated is it's like insanely difficult to get the cashew out of this apple, or at least far more difficult than just plucking your average nut. And then on top of that, it requires a lot of like damn near slave labor in order to accomplish it. That like tons and tons of people internationally are being paid like $3 a month to be like pulling fucking cashews out of cashew apples so that we can sell them en masse. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it becomes this question of real, I guess, becomes even more complicated because you wonder, all right, if it costs that much.
Yeah, if that's what the price is. But then it is still an industry in the way that like you take that away, you take away a lot as well, right?
Yeah, you take away the sort of like
Like there's towns that run on businesses like that, right?
Yeah, but if they're towns internationally, do they give a fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like if it's a town in the Philippines that is serving us cashew apples, you think America is going to be like, no, we got to keep that industry afloat.
Right.
Yeah, it's dark shit.
Yeah, that really.
It's not
I don't
inspiring.
I don't know if real cashews are better than fake cashews.
Yeah, and I don't know if I believe in a company's goodness to at least like keep the slaves that they have, right?
I don't. I think that if there was a way that they didn't have to do it, they would not do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
There's
think
no
they would
loyalty.
happily turn it into machines, which then brings me back to this question of a sheet of dough being, cut into little cashew shapes and served up to us as if it's real.
Right.
It starts to make me believe that more, I guess, would be the argument that I have.
Right. I mean, I think there's a lot of trickery that goes with food because it's kind of one of those things that it regenerates.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's easy to sell shitty food and just, I'm all stoned.
Okay.
It's like, I had too high.
But I agree. I think like even thinking about the FDA.
Right.
And the FDA is the Food and Drug Administration. Their sole purpose, or at least what we are presented their purpose is the verification of like the quality of our food, right? Like they assure us that this food meets a certain standard. But on the flip side, there are a lot of things that are able to be sold that are not FDA approved.
Right.
That don't have to follow that standard. And even the things that pass FDA inspections are often proved to be toxic, are often proved to be not what they claim to be, in part because the FDA is a government agency that has its own agenda the same way we all do.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the FDA is like if people can buy it non-FDA, then what does it really matter?
Right.
You know what I mean? If it's just like an idea, it seems like a waste of time, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's expecting a lot of people.
Right, exactly.
To be like, no, I trust that this is only the best if it's FDA approved. And if it's not, I won't have it. And that's not how people are.
At all.
You drink so much blue stuff.
That's crazy. Relax. Do I have a blue day every now and again? Yeah. But I don't think it's crazy that people don't make that discernment. So it's like, what is even this thing?
Yeah.
Who and if they're such a terrible vet of stuff, why would we ever rely on them? It's just like seems like you're on your own out here.
Yeah, and
it's all gonna be bad.
And then you look at the things that are FDA approved and you go, well, that's crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like fucking Mountain Dew is FDA approved.
Yeah, what is this? Who did you pay?
Yeah, it's not. There's no way you were like, yeah, this covers all the bases.
Yeah, they saw it and were like, put it in you.
Yeah.
Sure, put it in you.
Yeah.
This shit that looks like coolant.
Every 6 months, I'll watch a video of somebody showing all the things you can do with a can of Coca-Cola.
Oh, yeah, like cleaning shit?
You can clean things.
Yeah,
you can
just leave shit in there for a while and
it de-rusts your car.
Yeah. You can put your battery housings or whatever.
Yeah, it's just fucking nuts. The crazy scientific things that are possible with this product. There's no way that anyone should approve that for human consumption.
Yeah, so it's like, what is the FDA? You're not on our side.
You're not working. You're not working for the people by any means. All right, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back with more David, more Langston, more My Mama Told Me.
We are back. We did it, y'all.
We made it back.
We made it back.
A lot of people said we wouldn't come back.
They said we weren't going to make it.
They were banging on that door. They said, boys, get the fuck out of here.
They said, your dream is dead and your shirt is stupid. We said, no.
We still got one more ad break to do.
We got one more use of this thing.
Give us one more lap, Captain. I guess the bigger question, we're talking about whether or not our food is real. The bigger question that this all kind of makes me feel is, do you think there's any chance we'll ever do something about it?
That is the worry. And this is where I think my pessimism comes on, because I always think that everything is going to get so overbloated and terrible that it'll just collapse, and then something new will come into its place.
Yeah.
I don't see us course correcting a ton of shit. You know what I mean? But I don't know, maybe, man. If something really happens that forces the hand, but I mean, there's like, I don't know.
I think the only way we ever do something about it is if it starts to shorten our lifespans.
Right.
Like right now, we keep getting older despite all the sort of like complaints of like the awful things we're obviously doing to the planet, obviously doing to our own bodies. There's a fair amount of evidence that like, you know, like sperm production in men has gone down like 10 times compared, or 100. It's something insane compared to like what our grandfathers used to make. And that has to be a reflection of something happening in our society. It's not just that men ain't men no more. Like we're eating something, we're breathing something bad is happening to our physical form. That said, I live longer than my grandfather did.
Yeah.
I look younger than my grandfather did at his, you know what I mean? Like historically, we are becoming a more successful species. And so until it starts to shrink, where like everybody gets sick early and everybody dies, I don't think we have a chance to really need to address it.
I mean, that's fair. I don't think it's ever going to get to that point where or maybe, but you think it's like rich people, that's like a major thing that they have access to, right?
Yeah, but even then, like, it's how many people in like that elite population are truly like living by, you know what I mean? Like I know a lot of rich people who eat like absolute garbage.
Fair.
They just eat more of it. You know what I mean?
Fair. Yeah.
Like I don't think every rich person is like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
I think a whole bunch of them are Tracy Morgan. And my boy ain't reading about no diet.
I think that we're both circling around the same thing in that catastrophe is the only thing we think is going to get.
Yeah.
Right? One way or another, we think things have to go terribly wrong for them to fix the problem. And that's really how I feel about most everything.
I think we're going to need, I think the day after tomorrow hits and then people start getting their shit together about like what they put in their bodies. But otherwise it's more an elite few.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, a heartwarming ending to a heartwarming episode.
You know, just we really seek to uplift.
We wake up. We say little boys and little girls listen to this podcast. We want to inspire them to go out in the world and be great. Let's talk about how all our food is poison and only the zombie apocalypse will make us change that.
But also could be some kind of a sickness that doesn't make zombies.
Okay. Just real bad diarrhea. I'm listening.
Old school diarrhea.
Old school diarrhea. Where you start making new Bibles.
Yeah.
And you're like, I spoke to God and he told me that hot Cheetos are a sin.
Oh, man. It's also funny to think, I mean, I guess we know that happens with religion.
Yeah.
But it's funny to think that at some point in a lot of these things, there was just a guy, it was probably a guy, who was just like, nah, not anymore.
Yeah.
Like the King James Bible, he was just like, but make it mine.
Yeah.
Like, I want my own shit.
Yeah, he was like,
and then they did it.
He was like, but I wouldn't talk like that. Put a couple thous in there. Now, that's me.
That's crazy though, because it's like, and now that's the one, that's the go-to.
You think the King James is the go-to?
You think like the NIV?
I bet it's closer to a Kamala Trump split than I think it's
King James versus NIV?
Yeah.
Okay.
I bet half the people like King James and then the other half are like, nah, I ain't fucking with that King James shit.
New International Version.
Yeah.
I mostly say those two because those are the only two that come to my head immediately.
Yeah, I always considered it just like the non-denominational versus the King James, but maybe their NIV sounds far more correct than
New International. Yeah, it's its own thing.
Yeah.
Which I think the point is they just made it easier to read is what they said, but I mean.
God, I hope so. Because people are having a hell of a time interpreting it now.
That's why it's such a good book. You take from it whatever you need.
I think that's why it's the most violent book on the planet.
Leave the rest.
I think that's what makes it truly the weapon of choice for so many people is that you can just make shit up and people are like, I guess it kind of says that. I don't know.
Another heartwarming end here at My Mama Told Me podcast.
You want to tell the people where they can find you? What cool shit you have going on?
Cool Guy Jokes 87 on Instagram, patreon.com/David Gborie. You can go there to buy my special. And then my special is also streaming wherever you stream. Birth of a Nation. You can listen to it for free on there.
Wow. All right. Yeah. Well, follow me at Langston Kerman. You can watch my special, Bad Poetry, and you can see us out on tour. We still have Portland and Seattle. We would love to sell those dates out. We really want to see you there.
Come out.
Come out. They're going to be fucking great. It's going to be awesome. You can buy the tickets at our Linktree and you can look it up. We'll be at Laughs and we'll be at the Helium Comedy Club in Portland. And then most importantly, if you want to send us your own drops, your own conspiracy theories, if you want to tell us what other foods we missed that are not real, but are still worth it, you send it all to mymommapod@gmail.com. You could also call us. Yes. On that phone number.
Put the graphic up right now.
Put up a graphic that has the phone number, which I've certainly memorized.
It's 844 Lil Moms.
844 Lil Moms is the number we would love for you to call. We want more voicemails. We want to hear your sweet voices and talk to you. So subscribe, reflect. Diarrhea. Bye, bitch.